A decision in the murder trial of William Danny Mason is expected to be handed down by the Supreme Court on Tuesday in Belmopan. Justice Antoinette Moore, who is presiding over the matter, will deliver a ruling after a little over 5 weeks of deliberation. Mason and 4 others, including brothers Kieran and Terence Fernandez, Ernest Castillo and Ashton Vanegas, are facing lengthy prison sentences should they be found guilty of the July 2016 beheading of Pastor Llewellyn Lucas. The case continues to attract extensive media coverage as it is arguably the most high-profile matter of its kind to go before the courts. Since their arraignment for the capital offense, the men have been sitting on remand at the Belize Central Prison for the past 3 years. Their fate, collectively, rests on the strength of arguments put forward by their attorneys. In looking back at the progress of the trial, it is important to note that there was an abrupt change in legal representation for Mason and his co-defendants, following the departure of lead counsel Herbert Panton on March 22nd.
What happened yesterday is that I made an application to the court to be relieved of the defense of the 5 accused. That matter started today, and that application continued, and the judge just a while ago concluded that application process and granted my application. So myself and Ms. Montejo are no longer representing the 5 accused. As a consequence, the matter has been adjourned to, I believe, sometime in the first week in April, just to make sure that, to give the accused enough time to find new counsel, and the trial will proceed from there.
When the trial resumed in mid-May, Guyanese attorney Dexter Todd had been called to the bar and would proceed thereafter to represent Mason.
My career in law spans maybe over 17, 18 years. I was a former police officer back in Guyana, and I have done a lot of prosecuting work. I still do operate as a special prosecutor for the state in Guyana, but I am a defense counsel. All right, and I have had some of the most, I believe, interesting cases that has afforded me an opportunity to represent in the time. I have always viewed the law as an opportunity, and this I mean an opportunity in representing clients as an opportunity to really enforce the law and to really ensure that justice is served.
Court-appointed counsel for the 4 co-accused included attorneys Brian Neal and Norman Rodriguez, and the Crown was represented by Director of Public Prosecutions Sherlyn Vidal. Notwithstanding a full replacement of the battery of lawyers, the case was subsequently adjourned on a number of occasions. Following an extended break, the case resumed with a voir dire, a trial within a trial, on July 11th.
That is a major development because we have been in this voir dire for going on 2 weeks now, over 2 weeks. And so it is good news for the trial that the trial will continue now that the voir dire has been completed. The judge has reserved judgment, and she will give her ruling tomorrow morning at 9:30. The ruling will determine whether or not the statement made by Mr. Castillo, one of the defendants, is admitted into evidence against him.
Fast forward to September 12th, and Mason is on the trial where he tearfully testifies in open court about his friendship with the slain Christian minister. In an unsworn statement, Mason described his familiarity with Pastor Lucas, whom he is accused of decapitating at his ranch near La Democracia. Following the testimony, attorney Norman Rodriguez outlined the remaining steps.
There will be the closing, then the decision, and since Mr. Mason is calling a witness, then he will do his closing. The DPP will do her closing in relation to that, and also to the case against the other 4 accused, and then the other 4 who gave the statement to remain silent, they will give their closing. Then, of course, the judge, as the judge of the facts, and the jury itself will give the decision.
After several weeks of attempting to secure a witness statement from a U.S. federal agent, Mason was successful. During the written testimony, the agent, who was stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Belmopan at the time of Lucas's murder, stated that Mason informed him that he, Danny Mason, real name Rajesh Roulette, was being framed by Minister of National Security John Saldivar. Following that bombshell admission, the case was closed, bringing us to Tuesday when the men will learn the outcome of the trial. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.